20 to 25%. And the dyed finished leather, how about the trimmings? Dyed finished leather, they contains only 2 to 3%. This is not so much. But the sludge from the effluent treatment plant, it is used. So we will tell about sludge later. If you see this solid waste, what does it contain? The solid waste, as it coming from the raw hides and skins, so it mainly contains the proteins and also the fats sometimes. The main ingredient is proteins. So what we can do, we can utilize this. How?
Pendidikan lah. Kalau penting dua-duanya ya, tapi anggarannya.
You can see the photo.
Anggarannya MBG kok segitu.
If you see, there are so many garbage, so many waste from the leather industry, other garbage and everything. But nowadays, globally, there is nothing garbage. If you can manage it in a proper way, what we should pick up from the garbage, this lady, the wealth. We have to pick up this from this waste, from this garbage, because it contains proteins, the waste. This contains 2 to 10% proteins in a raw condition. And fats 7 to 10%. It can differ because the solid waste differ from each other. When it is fleshy, it might get more fat. We can extract more fat from this fleshing. But when it is finished leather or scraps or the shavings, chrome shavings or other shavings, then we can get more protein than the fats. So what we need to manage this. What are the present scenario of this management? In many countries, in many tanneries, they are just dumping it as landfilling. And if you think a little more advanced way, you are incinerating this. But the landfilling and incineration is not a proper solution because they are causing environmental pollution, leaching the heavy metals and also creating carbon footprint and blah blah blah. We are losing the proteins if you make the incineration or landfilling. I'm going to discuss this later. Now I want to focus on circular economy. What is circular economy? As you find, this is something old, something new. That means if you have something, this is old, you can convert it to a new materials. This is circular economy. And this is the greening of industry in a resource and environmental constrained world. Because throughout the world, for food and other substances, some of the raw materials for world consumption, the research that some of the things, the raw materials, is going to be end every year in August or in the middle of July. So what happened to the world? You have to recycle, you have to enter something to the circular economy model. So what is circular economy? Its objective is to reduce the waste and consumption of the resources, what you have. This is a closed loop cycle for focusing on recycling and reusing. According to the UNITO, they are telling that this is a new way of creating value and ultimately towards the prosperity. So, if I say, what is circular economy? This is a non-death life. That means, first of all, here, before starting the circular economy model, I want to let you know what is linear economy. This is the take, make, dispose. You are taking a coffee, you are drinking and disposing. This is, you are taking food, you digest and then to toilet. This is the linear economy. But for circular economy, there is no death. I am sure if you are given a life that if God says you have a life that doesn't you don't have any death. You can live forever. You will take the chance. Why? For the material, the same case. If you are given a material that it has no death, you can use here as a raw material. After that finished product, after the end of life of this product, you will use this again in the circle. So what does it mean in the circular economy? We can start from here. Because collect at end of life. Suppose you have used one product and the life expired. For example, one shoe. The shoe has been torn and it is not being possible to use right now. You cannot wear this. What you can do? Collect this and then separate waste-wise. What are the waste? Separate according to the toxic, non-toxic, recyclable, reusable, and then you can reduce environmental footprint by how? You can introduce it as a raw material. Suppose you have a shank of a shoe, you can use it again. And then you can go into the cleaner production. If you go for the cleaner production by using the old one, then you can generate increased income. You don't have to buy this newly. And then lifespan for better service. And how can you make this better service? You are reducing the wealth consumption. You are using the resource. As a result, your dependency to the new resource is declining, reducing. So, circular economy is a model where a substance has no death. You can use one raw material for another industry, and another industry's product or byproduct could be used for another industry. So this is a circular model. I hope you are clear. Now I am going to focus on the valorization concept. How can we valorize the leather solid waste? Generally, solid waste, it is resource if it is managed expertly. Nothing is unmanageable in the world. So, if you can manage the solid waste generated from the leather industry, you can move towards a zero waste that will align with the European Union and other standard organizations. Then what you can do, if you can effectively convert the leather waste into value-added products, it will achieve you a green and sustainable development. What we are striving for throughout the world, because we want a sustainable environment, sustainable development, green environment, eco-friendly environment. So our ultimate focus should be the valorization of the solid waste. What we are not presently equipped with. So what are the valorization options? In circular economy, you can make a intra. That means in the leather industry, what are the waste generated from the leather industry? You can process it, you can make some product, and you can use it again in the leather industry. That is the intra-valorization. And if you have another option, how you can make a inter or extra valorization other than leather industry. I am going to discuss this later. So, if you make a model conversion of the waste of the leather industry into the useful products for the leather industry, what will happen? You will helping you by yourself to achieve the LWG certification and other certification, because you are making a closed loop upcycling option of the valorization of the product. So, what are the opportunities of the leather solid waste? This is a chart. If you see from the soaking, unironing, bedding, unturned solid waste. What we can do, we can use this unturned solid waste, trimming waste, keratin waste, fleshing waste for making biomaterial, activated carbon, returning syntan, paper sizing agents, coating, polyhydroxyalkanoate, which is very much important for the biodegradable packaging system, then biodiesel, biogas, and what for the chrome tan shaving waste or buffing waste? You can recover the basic chrome sulfate. You can make composites. You can make bioplastic. You can make ceramic pigment, hydrogel beads, and the tan waste and finished waste. And the sludge. Researchers started many researches and found that carbon nanorods, the high technology, superconductors, blended composites, biochars, adsorbents, and bioenergy construction materials, bricks, ceramic, and finally the fertilizer, where there is no option, decompose it and make fertilizer. Might be possible. And the current strategies, the treatment-wise strategies, what you can do from the solid ternary waste, you can make adsorbents. From where? From dye, chromium, lead, and renewable energy, biodiesel, biogas, biohydrogen, briquette, supercapacitor. Composite material, what you can do? Aluminum-based composites, biodegradable composites, construction materials, fiber boards, packaging materials, leather goods. You can make it by composite. And the microbial enzymatic degradation, as we are focusing or we are going towards the enzymatic processing of the beanhouse processes, what we can do, we can make some protease enzyme, which can be used in layering, liming, baiting operation, baiting process, chromium reductase, keratinase. By breaking the bond of the keratins, we can easily take out the hair from the skin. Deaminase, you can make the breakdown of the amino acids. If you want to make some gelatin, you can use this there. Dicarboxylase, aerobic degradation, anaerobic, and bioremediation. What for the thermal decomposition? As I mentioned earlier, right now we have only two options. That one is combustion, landfilling, or incineration. Until now, we are bound to make it landfilling, combustion, or incineration. What we can do, we can make pyrolysis. If we make pyrolysis, what we will get? We will get at the same time so many things. One is oil. We can get oil. We can get the biodiesel might be. We can get energy, and there will be no environmental pollution by pyrolysis because we are not using the oxygen here. This is good. And the value-added products, what we can do, although some of the industry throughout the world are making animal feed, beef extracts, industrial enzymes we can produce, fertilizers, collagen, elastin, returning agents we can make. So, what are the valorization of the trimming waste? What we can do from the trimming waste? Industrially, until now, people are making animal feeds. If you see, the trimming waste is being used for collagen production because this is only collagen. Gelatin and collagen hydrolysate. What we can do from collagen? We can make a scaffold. What does it mean? A scaffold. A scaffold means this is a 3D structure. Suppose you have a wound. You have a very big accident from where your meat has been separated. Unfortunately, I'm giving you a bad example. What we can do, we can make some scaffold for tissue regeneration, for making the protein help or regeneration of the cells. Then composites, films you can make, biomedicine, tissue engineering, you can use it. Luminescent carbon dots, this is high technology. Luminescent carbon dots, because they are separating the carbons from the waste, and after that they are producing material for carbon dots. Pressure sensor, membrane filter, they are high technologically very high. These are very highly technologized. And the gelatin, what we can do from gelatin, you can use biodegradable plastic films. You can use the coating of the tablet. You can use the coating of the food packaging materials. You can use as a paper sizing agents. You can coat in the paper. And then adhesives. This is the general use. It has been using as adhesives previously. This is ancient use. And then the collagen hydrolysate. What you can use, you can make composites, retaining agents, and as animal feedstock. You can make animal feedstock from this way. And how can we make fleshing waste valuable? I am discussing the main waste. How can we utilize this? This is the fleshing waste. Why it is valuable? Because it is producing fleshing hydrolysate. It is producing fleshing lipid. It is producing activated carbon. What we can do, if we produce the fleshing hydrolysate, if you see here, you can make it animal nutrition because it doesn't contain any chromium. You can make some preparation. After that, you can make the hens food or dog food. You can make fermentation substrate. What might be used as enzymes, bioactive metabolites. Even you can make a syntan to use it again in the leather industry. That means the intravalorization. And the other thing, activated carbon. What you can do? You can use the activated carbon for absorbent. You can use as adsorbent. And then the biomethane, compost. This is the easiest and might be practicable. Compost making. And finally, if you make some lipids, you can make it biodiesel. You can make a polyhydroxyalkanoids for the biofilm formation. You can make fat liquor. Already it has been. Because why you can make this? Because it contains 6 to 30% of fat. It is full of fats. It is full of protein, 6 to 15%. You can use it. There is nothing waste. There's all are wealth. You can use this to produce the lipids and other things. So I'm going for the shaving waste. What is the fate of shaving waste? We are dumping it simply into the tannery yards. We are dumping it simply in the ETPs or CETPs. But what does it contain? It contains 50 to 25% of protein and 3 to 4% of chromium and 5% inorganic ash. It might differ due to the tanning technology, because what are the tanning agents and chemicals you are using? This is important. What does it making? The first picture, devastating picture. This is actually harming the environment. So what we can do, we can utilize this as a composite material, as a protein hydrolysate. From protein hydrolysate, what we can do, we can make the bioplastic films. We can make hydrogel beads. We can make retaining agents. And also the chromium, 4 to 5% chromium, we can recover this basic chromium sulfate from the chrome waste. And after that, the ash we can make for the ceramic pigment. And if we don't use this ceramic pigment, we can go for the rechrome leather again by adjusting the basicity of the chrome. So the shaving waste, the most burdened with chromium, we can use in different ways. So it could be regarded as a valuable product. And now I just want to mention some of the intravalorization options. What we can do, although these options are only in research until now, there is no industry which is making the use of these options, but I just want to mention it for the researcher who can research more. And might be in near future, the industry might be agree to use these products. So what if we use in soaking? chrome tanned leather waste, we can make surfactant, and we can use in soaking. For unhairing, chrome shaving, fleshing, and tannnery sludge, we can make some protease and serine protease enzyme we can extract and can use in unhairing. In bedding, alkaline protease, as I mentioned, from deliming, delimed fleshing we can make. And for tanning, basic chromium sulfate. And for chrome exhaustion aids, this is very nice because the acrylic copolymer biotannin, if you use the collagen hydrolysate extracted from the fleshing waste, it will give a amphoteric effect, which will make chrome exhaustion, which will make dye exhaustion, which will facilitate more dye penetration. And how about the tannnery sludge? You can make a combination tanning agent. You can make brick. And then the collagen hydrolysate from chrome containing leather hair you can use in retanning, trimming hair chrome containing waste. You can use in the hybrid composite with lignin, keratin hydrolysate, nanoparticle polymer, collagen oxidized valonia extract. It will increase the dyeing exhaustion. And how about the fleshing, chrome shaving? You can use as fat liquor in the fat liquoring operation. And in the finishing, collagen hydrolysate can be used as in the replace of casein finish, PU finish, abrasion resistant gelatin you can produce, and with the other copolymers. And the dyeing exhaustion, as I mentioned, you can produce the hybrid keratinase hydrolysate nanoparticles. It will help. And fleshing, effluent dye removal, I want to skip this. Adsorbent you can produce for chrome recovery and reuse. Iron treated fleshing waste, you can produce it from the fleshing waste, chrome shaving, fleshing tallow, wool waste. You can use that as an adsorbent for the chromium removal from the chrome containing effluent. You can make some activated carbon, which can be used for the multiple pollutant removal from the tannnery effluent. And what are the options, valorization options of the leather solid waste other than leather
Sorry to
processing?
interrupt, Dr. Ramizan. You have 9 minutes left for your presentation. Thank you.
9 minutes or 5 minutes?
9 minutes, sir.
9 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. I will take care of it.
Thank you.
And what we can do in leather process, other than leather processing, we can make composites for packaging, agriculture, construction, biomaterial based industries, and we can make the protein retarder for gypsum, nanotubes, solar cells, supercapacitors also. And also we can use it as biogas and biodiesel by using it by making an anaerobic digestion or fermentation technique. And what others? For chemical, for food, for cosmetics, for pharmaceuticals, as I mentioned, the coating of the tablets. And finally, fertilizer you can use. You can make a composite liquid. And then what you can make? Gelatin, composite foams, lightweight cement blocks, waste leather reinforced epoxy resins also you can produce. You can make brick, you can make ceramics. And now the important part is throughout the world. I would like to request you all, if you have any known industry other than this, what is being practically industrially practiced leather solid waste management, not in research only. You can add with me. I added the amino acid for fertilizer. This one I did it. Amino acid, you can make the fertilizer and you can sell for the plants. Leather board manufacturer, you can see it. Gelatin production, this is well known. And some of the countries producing so many good gelatin, technical grade gelatin. Then glue adhesive production. You can make glue adhesive. It has been practiced in the leather solid waste in the industry also. Animal foods, dog foods especially. Some European country are making this, and also the Asian country. Incineration of sludge. This is the worst possible way, and the underdeveloped, developing country are actually processing by this, the managing the solid waste by incineration. And this is the most important, the scrap leathers. Nowadays, it has been industrially practiced. How can you make this? The scrap leather are firstly, scraps and shavings are firstly shredded, make it a ground, and after that, they are blending it by adhesives and binding them in natural way, like this sheet. You have this raw material generated from the Tnnery waste, and then you are making this sheet, leather fiber sheet. After that, you are making a PU coat or another coat, another finishing, whatever you want, and making a leather-like substance. So this is interesting and industrially practiced. How can Tnnery solid waste lead circular economy? I already mentioned the circular economy, mentioned the solid waste, and now I want to link them. What we can do, if we can manage the solid waste by pyrolysis, incineration, or like this energy production, we can get a link with the circular economy. And the value-added product manufacture, as I mentioned, you can make different types of value-added product. Recycling and reusing, where there is no option, you can recycle it and reuse it. And the most important, somewhere wealth, somewhere waste, somewhere wealth. That means some of the process or operation is producing waste, and you are using this waste as a raw material, so it is wealth. Newer possibility of durable product, greening of environment. You can make the green environment green by how? By managing the waste. Employment creation. If you make some industry newly established only based on the solid waste, then what will happen? You are creating employment, actually linking to the circular economy and empowering the economy, of course. If you use if you start an industry, you are provoking this. And what are the challenges now? The achievement of circular economy and valorization. The biggest challenge is the introduction of zero waste technologies. It is very much tough, introduction of zero waste technologies, because everywhere there is some waste. So you have to think for the zero waste first. If you don't manage it, go for the second option by managing the waste. Lack of advanced technologies. What I mentioned earlier, it has a big challenge because we don't have the advanced technologies and technical skills and also the technical support. So this is a big challenge. And the uncertainty of consumer demand. Why? Because consumer, nowadays the people are provoking the consumer that vegan leather is very much, sorry, I don't want to tell vegan leather. The vegan materials, synthetic materials are eco-friendly than the leather. This is not true. This is a bogus idea. Because from where you are producing the vegans, these are from petroleums, and some are from scraps. But if you want to combine these scraps, what will you use? You have to use some binders. From where the binder will come? Just think yourself. And the lack of guidelines for the remanufacturing products. Because we don't have any guideline, how can we produce and how can we remanufacture the products? And the another one I just skip, stakeholders with short-term agendas. Everybody wants to make big profit. This is the problem. The industry owner should not think about the big profit, should have to think about the environment also, because the environment and industrialization is the opposite side of a coin. If you think for environment, industry goes down, but it was the earlier notion. But right now, this notion has been changed. You can go parallelly because at the same time, you can produce, you can manufacture, you can make a good industrialization with parallel to a good environment. And design challenges. We don't have enough design to make the solid waste menace. High cost for establishing, if you want to make a new establishment of the Tnnery, solid waste management industry, you have to initially invest more. And the lack of financial support from government bodies. Some of the government bodies don't want to make value. That they don't want to understand that if you recycle this product, you will get good benefit for the environment. So they are not interested to invest in this case. Somewhere in the world. And how to overcome challenges should promote the benefits, to stress the need for conserving the environment, to push the people, and to develop their image around social consciousness and the environment sustainability. This is the main thing. We have to think about the environmental sustainability and the overall challenges globally. What we have, the vegan people are saying that we are killing the animals. This is the most problem. We have to protect the term leather with the label leather, pure leather. And also, the numerous synthetic products are wrongly described as leather. We have to make conscious the people that this is not leather. You should not use any stamp of leather in that substance. So, because it is from natural, effectively communicated publicly. And references, finally, I want to say something. Focus on the opportunities, not the problems. We have the opportunities because the West are opportunities. These are not the problems. If there is problems, there is opportunities. And the other thing, if you don't know where to go, no matter where you are now, this is said by Peter F. Drucker, a Austrian writer and manager. So what he told, if you don't know where to go, no matter where you are, we know where to go. We have to make the waste management, solid waste management. We know this, where to go. So this is important. We can make anything possible. Thank you very much for your kind patience. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amizan, for the excellent and insightful presentations. Now we're open for the discussion sessions. We're open for 3 questions. Maybe participant on online and offline can ask questions for Dr. Almizan. Anyone? Okay, from yeah. Oh, it's direct. Maybe Dr. Amizan, there is a direct message on the checkbox for you from Sadyar and asking you about, will you elaborate the circular economy model? Would you elaborate the circular economy model?
Sorry, I could not hear you. Could you please make it loud?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Would you elaborate the circular economy model? Okay.
Yes.
The circular economy, it actually a circle. If you use a waste as a raw material in another industry, you will get one product. This product might be a raw material for another industry. So it will always go around a circle. That means the circular economy. Something previously you got as a raw material and you can use it for the next production. This is the circular economy because you are inputting one raw material with low cost and you are getting more profit here. This is how you can earn more. That's why this is circular economy.
Apa indikator keberhasilan?
I think you understand.
Okay.
And the membrane filters.
Proses
These are the
cleaning.
filters which can filter the pollutant. This is the highly designed
Sebelum kulit
membrane
masuk ke
for
tahap tanning.
taking out the pollutants. And then any other question? How do you ensure the recovery process is cost beneficial rather than the
Parameter
virgin material?
fisik
Okay,
maupun
that's good question. Because you
jelaskan
cannot
parameter
pay
fisik
the environment what
maupun
you are
penilaian.
distracting about the environment. If you use the solid waste to
Apa
produce
sih?
some
Apa?
material, it will pay you
Berapa?
back. Because if you just dump it into the environment, it will harm for 100 years, might be more than 100 years. You cannot pay back it. You have a great loss for the environment and humankind. So if you use this and some of the product, suppose the shavings, if you use this for amino acid production, collagen hydrolysate production, what will happen? There is no cost for raw material, only the energy cost and chemical cost. After that, you are selling this product to the as a fertilizer, you are selling the product to the farmers. What will happen? The cost of the material will be less, and that's why you can make it more beneficial. I think, Peter, you understand my answer. If you have anything to say, you can ask.
Peter, how
Did I skip anything?
do you already know it's clear or not? Okay, it's clear, sir. Yeah. Maybe participant on site want to ask to Dr. Amizan? Anyone? No? Okay,
Who?
Dr. Amizan, I want to ask some questions.
Please, please.
Okay. Okay, how about regarding the lot of obstacles to treat the waste ladder, what is the most effective treatment for treating solid waste ladder to achieve circular economy, especially on developing country?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your nice questions. Actually, before going to answer these questions, I have to learn which step or which kind of waste you want to valorize or want to process, want to manage. There are so many trimmings, shavings, chrome containing, tanned, non-tanned. The most problem is the tanned waste management, because the tanned waste management mostly in the developing countries, they are containing chromium. So separation of this chromium is very tough. This is the biggest challenge what you can face. But if you can just make a separation of chromium before going to the final product, you can make it possible. For untanned waste, you can make the animal food easily. It is practicable. For the tanned waste, amino acid fertilizer, you can make gelatin, because when you will make the gelatin, you can precipitate the chromium. And also, if you make the gelatin from the trimming waste, there is no need to think about the chromium. So what you can do, you can directly make the adhesives or gelatins directly from the trimming waste. But the biggest challenge, what I am repeating again, is chromium, because the developing country is using chromium more than 90% for the leather processing. So you have to think about the chromium. And the other challenge is the investment. No tannery want to make some investment because they don't know about the future or about the final product. So they have to be conscious about the environment, and with the researcher who have the knowledge about the recycling and reusing, we have to make them aware about that. If you invest here suppose 1 billion or 1 million, you can get more, then they will be agree or they will be enthusiastic to do this. Finally, the awareness. Thank you.
Bukan tahapannya.
Thank you very much. Yes, very clear the answer.
Kalau
So we have to
45
separate
Bayu
what is
tahu
the
aman.
type of
Oke.
the
Kalau
waste
indikator
product,
keberhasilannya,
and then also
kalau indikator keberhasilan
the
jelaskan
very
maksudnya
concerning is
definisinya nggak tahu.
premium
Dilihat dari mana?
waste, right? So
Mana? Bisa.
I think no more question for you, Dr. Amizan. We're going to close the
Okay, question
session.
is very normal because I have given this lecture to Leather and Height Council of America in the UNIDO. We debate a lot because I just given this lecture for might be 50 minutes, and after that we debate for 30 minutes or 15 minutes again. 50 minutes again. So I am habituated with this. You can ask more question, no problem. And if you don't have, you are welcome also. Thank you.
Okay. Maybe later you can also, if you still have any question for Dr. Amizan, you maybe can email him.
Yeah.
With two more, if you are curious more about leather industry. And then after this, please stay, Dr. Amizan. We want to share again for the certificate to you.
Thank you. I will be happy.
Yes, Dr. Next sessions, we're waiting for Dr. Anna Lama, the lecturer from Institute for Creative Leather Technologies, University of Northampton, United Kingdom. But just wanna
Pikir dulu.
make
Nanti
sure
Pak Mio
that
saya,
you're
Dek.
already on the Zoom, Dr. Anna Lama. Not yet.
Dear moderator, she is logging in right now. Might be within 1 minute or 2 minutes. She is going to attend.
Okay.
I just met her. Taking a while. She messaged me taking a while.
Okay.
Just wait, please. Just
Thank
wait
you
a
for
minute,
the
please.
information. Yes. So we're going to have a 5-minute breaks to wait the speakers. For the participant on site, you can grab some coffees or tea or the snacks in the back while waiting the speakers. Okay. Please have a break, 5 minutes break. For the participant online, Syed Iqbal Ali, if you raise your hand reactions, do you need to say something to us? No? Okay. For the participant online, please wait a minute to before we continue to the next stations. Thank you.
Dr. Enilama is striving to logging in because it is rounding there. She's telling me it is rounding there. She's trying to connect with.
Oh, she is trying to join to the Zoom, or
Because, yes, she's trying. She just shared a screenshot. I shared with her again the link. I suggested her that just click there. Waiting, please.
Apa kalau di Kenapa sih sedikitmu?
As you know, actually, it is morning 8 in UK right now. So this is very early morning.
Okay, it's morning, very morning. Oh, there's some questions.
Mr. Iqbal has one question, I think, to me.
Oh, Dr. Amizan, there's someone asking for your LinkedIn for connecting, maybe
Yes, yes.
can answer.
Okay, Dr. Erilama in, I think, right now.
Okay.
Yes, she's here.
Okay, okay, teacher. Okay. Welcome, Dr. Anna Lama. Welcome.
Uh, I'm trying to do my video. There you go. How are you all?
Hello.
Oh, there's so many people in the room. Okay.
Okay.
Good morning from my kitchen. It's still very early hours in the morning in the UK, so it's only 8. I don't tend to work at this time usually. Okay. So I am going to share my presentation. Okay.
Okay.
I have not used Zoom for a while because we tend to use Microsoft Teams. So I need to figure out how do I how do I share my presentation? Is that on the more? Would you be able
Okay.
to?
Before, while you preparing your presentation, I will introduce you
Okay.
to the participant.
Okay.
So, a brief introduction of you. Dr. Anulama is a lecturer from Institute for Creative Leather Technology, the University of Northampton, United Kingdom. Her expertise focus on sustainable leather manufacturing, green leather technologies, advanced leather processing, and environmental sustainability in the tannery industry. Today, Dr. Analama will deliver a lecture with title Green Technologies for Modern Tannery. These sessions will explore innovative and environmentally friendly technology designed to improve tannery operations, reduce pollution, enhance resource efficiency, and support sustainable leather productions. So, Dr. Analama, without further ado, the time is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm going to share my presentation in a minute. However, just to say that I concentrated on the principle side of it. So I'm not going to tell you what's the best thing and what's the worst thing. You need to figure it out yourself, as I do to my own students. But we'll take through some of the technologies because it's 1 hour, and I will not be able to cram everything. So the idea is we will talk about some of the fundamental stuff, and you will have to join in with me because I hate talking to myself. Online isn't my thing. I like to talk people in person, so you will have to join in and make some sounds saying, yes, no, that is okay, that is not okay. Is that all right? Okay. And I've been living in UK for many years, so my accent has changed slightly. So if you don't understand me, or if I'm talking too fast, because when I get nervous or when I get too excited, I start to talk really quickly. Okay, so if you don't understand me, or if I'm talking too fast, please feel free to say, could you please slow down? Okay, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so I am now going to share my presentation. Okay, now you are very quiet at the moment. Please give me, I know there is an Almizan in there, so one of you will have to talk to me. Okay, so I am going to share my presentation here because okay. So is there we go. don't know how you want it. So I am sure you can see the slides now. By the way, when I share the slides, when I will email that to you or upload it. So when I email you, you'll see there is a little note. I may or may not follow the little notes underneath because I only have one screen today. I tend to work on a two screen because I'm working from my kitchen, so I only have one screen. But the note is for you if you need to look back. Okay. So, as I was introduced, thank you very much. My name is Dr. Ann Lama, but most people who knows me calls me Annie. So please feel free to call me Annie. To be honest, I prefer Annie. When people say Dr. Lama, it sounds a little too serious for me. Okay. I don't know whether you can see. Okay. So there is a few correction. I don't teach leather technology anymore. I used to, but I do not teach. So at this moment, I teach microbiology. It's a long story. I will tell you one day, another day. So I am part of life and environmental sciences, and I'm deputy head for the School of Life and Environmental Sciences. Okay, and so that's my school currently, and that's the picture where we tend to belong. So it's the University of Northampton, and if you would like to find out a bit more about the University of Northampton, there is a little link at the bottom of the page. But this is what the campus is really beautiful. We have got a nice canal down the road, and then you have got lovely trees. We like trees. Okay, so before I start, please just stop because I can see some of the screen but not fully. So please join in. And I'm sure you had a very, very long day, and it's nearly end of the day for you. So, and this is the last presentation. So we will aim for about 45 minutes, and then you can go home. I'm sure it's been a long, big day, and it's very difficult to concentrate on online. If it's me, I tend to fall asleep. So please don't fall asleep. Okay. You might be quite, yeah. So just feel free to ask any question. Okay. Is that clear? Is that clear, Almizan? Please give me a nod because obviously it's, yeah. Okay. Am I speaking clearly? Okay. So as I said, for my classes, as I like to do, is somebody will have to work for me. And I will ask the audience now, or the people in the room, to say, what do you think? Do you think is leather production sustainable? I mean, this is not a trick question. There is no right or wrong answer. And you are absolutely okay to say your opinion. I just wanted to know how many of you think leather is sustainable, how many of you thinks leather isn't sustainable, and how many of you thinks I'm not sure really. Anybody? By the way, I'm not
sure.
I wasn't exactly sure the format you wanted me to do, whether you wanted a presentation style or like a class. So this is how the way I designed this lecture. This is how I would really run my own session. Okay. So if it doesn't, but if you just want me to shut up and talk, I can do that as well. It probably go quicker. Yeah. So okay, tell me, how many of you think is leather production? I mean, you can count in the room. Like 5 people says, yeah, it is leather sustainable. 10 people says no. 15 says not sure. Okay. Sorry, I missed the name of the person who talking to me. Is that a... Who's he? Right, okay. I think it probably may not work in the way. Okay, so my concern is when I'm talking on this to the screen and I can't see people, so I'm not quite sure whether people are understanding me or am I going in the right direction. And obviously how I planned is probably on work. Okay, so let's move on. So when we think about sustainability, I always ask my own student when I'm running this class. I don't longer run this class, but I like to ask them, what do you mean by green? What does really mean by green? And what is a sustainable technology? As I said, I'm not going to tell you this is good, this is bad. I'm going to tell you some of this thing about good, some of this thing about bad, and you will have to make your own decision. Okay, so so as I would say, as I said, I'm just looking at the and what do we mean by green? Now, for me, green means a lot of things. Okay, but we used to run entire module on this, and then in the third year they will learn a little bit more about sustainability, where we'll focus a little bit more on social sustainability. So for me, sustainability isn't just about looking at the environment. I know your summer courses is full of things like looking at the pollution, best available technologies, tanning technologies, and things like that. But in Europe, there is a real push where I work in UK. Just meeting the environmental legislation is not anymore good enough. Okay, so obviously a business, whether it's a tannery or any other business, it doesn't really matter. They will have to make money. So if you don't make money, you are not going to survive, put it this way. You're going to be closed down, aren't you? So and also the people aspect is really important. It is important to make sure the people who are working there is also happy and also part of this part of the community, and so their well-being is very important. So as I said, where I work in, it is a real push that to ensure that we don't forget about the people and the economy. Okay, so there is a little link. I know you can't see the screen properly, so let me go back there, and you will see there is a little link that I put in there. There is you need a video, and I often used to use for my own classes, and the video goes through the sustainability. So if you look the normal sustainability, where you can see my cursor, this is the common thing you will see on the website. If you Google it, you will see that the common theme is that you have got the nature, society, and economy coming all together in a balance, and then when it comes together in a balance, that's when the sustainability development happen. Okay, but we're just going to slightly move away from this. So the paper is on the slide. If you wish to have a look, and if you want to fall asleep. Okay, so so the paper is on the screen for you to have a look. I will share this presentation, by the way. So the concept is, because there are 3 different ways and people think you need to have a balance, the problem is which one you're going to give priority. Okay, so the concept is now, because we are part of the nature, so we need to live in our environment. We live in a society, and sorry, I think I've just mistakenly sent everything to Mizan in a thing. Okay, I'll sort that out in a minute. Okay.
Tadi besok lembarannya diambil ya? Besok lembarannya diambil. Oh, diambil nih. Makasih deh.
That's it. Cool.
Kira besok.
Okay, so yeah, so where we are, sorry, so we are living in a nature, and obviously we're part of the society, and we need to build the economy within the society, within that society, in order to make a living, because we do need money. Without the money, we're not going to survive. So as I said, the links are down below, and the UNIDO video is only 5 minutes. So if you had a chance, please have a look. Okay. So how does the Tnnery system work? So the way I like to think is Tnnery is a part of a system. It is not on its own. Okay, we like to think that Tnnery is a very special. Okay, this is a special business. We're taking raw hires and skin, making leather. Of course, it is a special business, but in the same way, it is any other business. Any other business will need some inputs, whether this is rawhide or other chemical water or anything, okay? And every businesses will go through the process. Please don't fall asleep. I know I'm talking, and this is when it happens. The people do tend to fall asleep. So pay attention, as I would say to my own student. And I have got no way of interacting with you, and therefore you just have to sit there and listen, unfortunately. Okay, so as I said, I know I tend to remind people, yes, leather, you are running a tannery and everything, that's absolutely good, and this is unique on its own, but this is no longer no more unique than any other manufacturing process where you're making textile or plastic or something else. Okay, so every bit, just like us, think about us, and I'm sure throughout this week you are learning a lot more. Think about us. We eat food. We have, we are vessel in our body. We take we take water, we breathe our air, and the process happens. We grow, we sometimes big, sometimes go taller, and then of course we also have to get rid of, dispose our own waste in a way. Okay, there is a little link again on the slide you will see, and the framework for sustainable leather manufacture. I'm not quite sure that you are familiar with that book. This is the book published by UNIDO. If you click on it, it should take you to the link directly, or you can just Google it to download that book. So and then the UNIDO leather panel is actually really, really good. I often used to use it for my own class. So have a go. So this is where we are, and you might, because I didn't want to go through pollutants quite on a significant level, because I can see on your list that somebody else is talking about the pollutants aspect of it, so I don't want to bore you to death too, but this is what it looks like essentially. Again, it came from the same book you will see on the slide. Okay, so we need to think about not just the processing. We have got the pollutants. They could be in a liquid form. We have got the BODs and CODs, what we tend to measure. So I know suspended solid, there's loss of solids, dissolved solid. Also, we have got the solid waste like hair, trimmings, and of course, we can't forget our air. Okay, so how are you? Are you still with me? Can anybody in the room give me a shout? How many people has fallen asleep? Just to check. Oh, I can see some chat messages. Let's see what is coming through. Okay. Oh, they're just...
Ada yang bisa minta tolong antar saya nggak nanti
Okay, so I can see that there are so many people said yes, yes, and yes. So I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, nobody said no. That is very interesting. Okay, I will argue with it that we are not. Now, how do I go back to the chat box? Okay, that's it. So I would argue with you that we are not actually, so we can argue whether leather is sustainable or leather is unsustainable. For me, it can be both. Is depending on how you manage your pollution, how you manage your system, how you manage your tannery. Okay, so I am going to put something in the chat box. One new, let's see what it says. Yes, thank you. So there's lots of yeses. Okay, that's great. I love that. Okay. So what I'm going to get you to, guide you gently. Often people say, oh, well, the other day I had a conversation with somebody wanted to know about sustainability. And the problem with sustainability is there isn't a perfect solution yet, okay? So none of the technologies is going to cover everything. So this is what I want to make it clear from the very beginning. So I will show you a series of examples which you may or may not have come across, because I was told that you have got a different level of students here, and also you have been having lots of different talk from different people. So I'm not quite sure. all might have been, covered, and then I would be like, oh, okay, you may know everything. So, but if you want to ask any question, please feel free to do so. So this is where I want to make it absolutely clear that there is no perfect solution for anything. Okay, so improvement, for example, we might think that, oh, we need to remove COD, or not remove COD, but reduce our COD level.
Oh,
It might
udah gini.
it might create a problem somewhere else. And as I go through the example, I will explain a little bit more in those areas. Okay, we might shift the pollution. We might take pollution from one form to the other form. We might have a pollution in liquid form, and then that changed to, in a solid form or something else. Okay, so there is
Dek,
no real
Dek, minta
this
maaf.
is
Kamu
absolutely no
lewat
pollution.
mana?
Okay,
Workshop
that's
atau?
not, everything. There is an
Oh,
input,
kira
there
mau
is
ke
a process,
workshop.
and there is always an
Saya
output.
ingin ke
Okay.
workshop soalnya, Dek.
Also, the new technologies
Ah,
can introduce
oh ya, Dek.
unexpected environmental problem which we have not considered before, or it might include some technical risks, technical issues. So it's not perfect, okay? So you might have this is a new technologies coming in, but whether it is electric cars, we talk about electric cars quite a lot in these days,
Wih,
but
mantap nih.
is it
Ada
totally
ini
hasn't
apa ya?
got
Kok pakai lednya?
environmental impact,
Oh,
or
kayak
has it
praktikum.
got reduced environmental
Apa?
impact? Has it
Hah?
just changed from one environmental
Oh,
impact
di
to other
sini.
environmental
Dari
impact?
Mandar,
Okay, the
Sulbar.
car is still
Oh,
needs energy.
magang
So
atau
have we just changed the sources of the
apa?
energy? So that sort of question you often
Praktikum apa
have
ini?
to ask. Okay, so the classic
Hah?
example I mentioned here is PFAS. The reason I mention PFAS,
Oh,
have you
setelah
heard
itu
of PFAS?
bagaimana?
Just to take a little breath.
Apa?
Is people here
Oh,
familiar
ini
with
mantap banget kalian di sini. Apa nama kalian ini apa?
alkyl
Kalian
substances?
praktikum di
Sorry.
sini ya? Mantap.
Have you?
Let's go, let's go. Siapa ambil botol tadi?
Oh, there's a.
Ika, halo, assalamualaikum.
No, it's fine.
Ini, seperti kakak. Iya, kak. Kira pikir kakak
Oh
kemana?
yeah, somebody put it. Yay, thank you. It really helps. Oh, okay, yes, they have heard of it. Okay, that's great. Oh, not yet. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. So, in the chemical companies in Europe is getting really interested in polyfluoroalkyl.
Besok kalian
Oh, I
praktikum di mana
can't even
lagi?
say properly.
Saya
Alkyl substances
kemarin
because I'm so used to
apa
saying
praktikumnya?
PFAS. That's easy, isn't it? So PFAS is one of the is not
Ini
introduced recently,
tanggal
by the
18
way.
kemarin apa?
PFAS, the story of PFAS goes back in 1930.
Wah,
Around that time,
berarti
okay,
nanti
I can't
outputnya
remember exactly.
lebih
You can
kelaparan.
Google it, okay. And it is
Wih,
quite
kena.
commonly used
Wah, mantap banget bisa di
chemicals,
sini ya.
particularly when waterproofing is needed. Okay, so that's where tend to, and it's not just leather relevant, it's used in many fields. Okay, so it produces okay, so whenever
Siapa
you think of
asistenmu?
waterproofing, these chemicals
Gak ada
may be
asisten bukan?
involved. Okay, maybe I'm saying because I
Ya.
don't know absolutely everything. So now, only recently, we are finding out the impact of these chemicals on our hormone system. Okay, because it's endocrine, and hence it interferes with our hormonal system. Now we are in 2026. Okay, so from 1930s around, basically. Now, all this time ago, now all this time later, we are now figuring out the impact of these particular chemicals, particular substances. Okay, so this is what I mean, because we might be using something which is perfectly fine at the time. There was a reason it has been introduced, because it's efficient, it works well, but then later on, many years later on, you might find actually it did more harm than it was useful or effective, perhaps. Okay,
Wow.
so this is what we really have to be thinking about, is it is really important to consider those aspects, because just because something is green, you think today is green, but tomorrow that might not be green anymore. Okay, so your task is to go and Google PFAS and see. And everybody here talks about PFAS at this day and age, so you need to go. The other things you might hear is the
Mantap nih.
bisphenol, which
Bantul
created a
sama
lot of
kalian mau
excitement
jadi
within
kayak
the
apa nama?
industry. People have
Kayak
considered the retanning
apa lagi?
chemicals, and
Touring,
then sorry,
tour
have
guide.
gone little too gone towards the pollutants rather than staying in the
Ah,
so yeah, so you might want to go and find out. So basically, in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say, just because something green, or just because we consider it is green at the moment, because we don't know it, I know we are human, very early stage of our learning, and we still don't know a lot of things, so you have to be a little bit careful. Okay, so this is the UK I'm using. I don't know with, well, I probably follow a different system of waste hierarchy. I'm gonna quickly float over this. The link is there below on the slide as well. So I'm using the UK government website here, and this is what UK industry have to follow. It doesn't matter whether you're a tannery, it doesn't matter whether you're doing any manufacturing or any other business. All companies need to sort of show that they are, driving for improvement. And that's why, so this is the hierarchy model, as you are, you might be familiar with it, but here it is, because it is important to consider the nature of the hierarchy, how we manage the risks, and how we manage the waste. Okay. Are you still with me? It's gone about 20 minutes on my screen. Are you okay? Has nobody fallen asleep yet? Is it exciting? I'm trying to keep you entertained by. Is that okay? Okay, so give me a thumb. I don't know if there is any emoji in here, but I am. Oh, there is coming. Thank you, Layli. And thank you, Dita. Okay, great. Yay! I've got some thumbs up. Really, Peter. Thank you very much, Peter and Alavin. Thank you. Okay, you might think, who is this person, lady? So excited at 8 in the morning. Okay, I haven't had my cups of tea yet. I need lots of cups of tea. Okay, so this is I stole from Dietrich Tegmeyer. You may or may not have heard of Dietrich Tegmeyer. He used to work for Lanxess once upon a time, and then went to TfL, and then currently retiring. So we saw him in the Society of Leather Chemist conference in April, and he's retiring. So I stole this from him, basically. Thank you, Dietrich. So there's a different way. So his concept is, or this is what he presented, is think about the process design, think about the chemicals. Okay, think about what you're using. Chemicals that shouldn't stay in the leather. So things like any of the beam house chemicals. So what you're driving for, we need to minimize their use as much as we can. So this is the basic concept, which I really, really like, and that's why I'm sharing. And then what do you need to think about? Because none of the chemicals you're going to use in the beam house are designed to stay. So beam house is basically, you're doing lots of cleaning, right? So everything in the beam house, we're cleaning, getting rid of unwanted substances, all of these things happening. Okay, so we want to minimize those chemicals because they're not ending up in our leather. So why bother? Okay, and also ensure that we can separate them easily, they're biodegradable, so that they're not causing long-term harm in our waste
kebetulan ada ini workshop
so these are,
green litter.
I picture it as how it
Preservasi
is
kulit
this chemical.
ternak
So
dengan
the
bahan-bahan
functional
kimia
chemicals.
penyamar
So
ramah
what we
lingkungan.
call the functional chemicals, or what is I
Tapi
understood
tinggal
as
di
a
sini
functional
Iya.
chemicals is
Iya.
chemicals that will stay within the leather. Think about the dyes, think about the tanning agent, think about all the retanning agent. So in that case, we need to think about the carbon, you need to think about the water footprint. Now, this is a complicated matter because we can do entire whole classes and more on carbon footprinting and what you're focusing on. Now, this depends on what the actual company focusing on. Some company may focus on low carbon, their mission is to reduce their carbon footprint. Other company may focus on biodegradability. Okay, they're not the similar. Depending on which direction the company wants to travel, you design your you adjust your processes or you adjust things. But that's the problem with sustainability. I find you cannot. As I said, there is no perfect solution yet at the moment. So you need to sort of kind of go, right, this is the direction we're going at this stage where the technology stands. Okay, so let's go. And so what you're trying for is a high exhaustion. So we don't want die sitting in our drum. We don't want die.
Ini mau naik bus tapi nggak ada yang ngantar, langsung ke workshop soalnya.
The uptake, we want the
Saya mau ke
uptake of the
workshop.
dyes of the tannin
Dia depan
chemicals
udah
as
dekatnya
much
gor.
as we can.
Gorun
Okay?
khas.
So they make sure
Kayak
there
buat
isn't
Coca-Cola.
much in the effluent for us to
Jalan
treat
ini.
later because it's
Iya,
just going to
ini
be
mau cari juga
and then the
tumpangan nggak ada.
reactive chemicals.
Ini
Now,
mobil
reactive
tadi
chemicals
beliau
is
mau
the chemicals
fakultas.
we are watching. So one of the key example of reactive
Iya.
chemicals I would use is glutaraldehyde, okay, also used as a wet white. Now, this is under and has been under watching list, okay?
Itulah.
Because it's categorized as a chemical
Kecuali
of
kalau ada yang bisa minta
concern.
tolong antar.
So we need to keep in. So anything reactive with the collagen may react. Okay, we are human. We're made out of collagen ourselves. Okay, so it should be safe. It should be safe to handle for people who are working. Okay, so you have to make sure the reaction is
Bukan mahasiswa saya di sini.
saved.
Nggak berani juga
So
memegang sesuatu yang namanya motor listrik di sini.
In our production system. So this is basically the principle of the waste hierarchy model. That's what we
Iya, kalau ada acara, ada agenda-agenda. Kemarin untuk pesta babinya di THT di ruang dalam.
So in the next few
Udah ada bubarkan?
Nggak
ada. Alhamdulillah merestui.
And
Sadar merestui. Lagi kebetulan ini short course-nya UGM. Ini acaranya kemarin juga khas teori. Ini juga teori tapi ya kita ikut online aja.
So I would like to know here,
kuliahnya di mana?
as in the chat.
Tnnery, halo Leo, Fakultas Peternakan.
Leo, sudah selesai.
Ini sudah selesai 2023. S1 dan S2. Ini insya Allah saya mau lanjut S2 by riset. Rencananya di di Unhas. Di sini juga kalau ada.
Oh, hello, Sobusar. How are you? Thank you.
Iya, yang tahun 2023 lalu ini nanti mau lanjut lagi.
Can you give me some example of?
Tapi bekerja dulu. Saya bekerja dulu karena nggak bisa bayar riset kalau belum tidak kerja. Rencana mau apply di Sidrap di Malindo atau Wingstop. Saya Sopeng Sidrap. Iya. Atas orang tua soalnya, bukan atas diri sendiri. Nah, kita buru-buru.
Hai Nabila.
Umur berapa sekarang? Ya, umur 28.
Iya.
Insya Allah sudah 29.
Ozonation? I have not heard about ozonation. No idea what that is. I will Google it when I finish this class. Interesting. You learn every day something, don't you? Okay. Is that okay, is it waste management thingy? That's what, yeah, I think
Oh, saya nyebrang. Saya nggak nyebrang. Aduh.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Afas, Muhammad Afas, for joining me. So, I was going in a bit more simpler way. I can see there is a one sort in there. Please feel free to write it in the chat. It's check the
Ini kita mau nyebrang juga. Oh. Sepi baru. Aduh. Ya nggak apa-apa, biar saya mandu.
thing on them. Okay, so you can see on the screen is
Sorry,
that please keep it simple. Okay,
I think
it's
this your side has previously bad connection. So maybe you can explain again what you're talking about because the video is stops.
oh, video stops. Okay, shall I stop my video so that the connection is
That's
better?
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You
So
can
where did
explain.
I go until? Do you know? Okay. Is it clear better now, or is it
Now
still a
clear.
bit better?
Now
It's
it's
clear.
clear. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so so that's okay. So I was just asking you to give me some example of of the technology you have seen.
Jalan sampai mana itu? Ya, mau jalan sampai mana? Mau ke workshop tapi nggak ada yang ngantar.
Oh,
Udah maksudnya
I've
lurus
got 10
atau
minutes.
belum
I thought I've
lurus?
got the whole
Lurus lah.
hour. Oh,
Ini
all right.
fakultas. Kita belok
Okay. Oh,
kiri.
the
Iya.
speed. Okay. Thank you for reminding me that. Okay, no problem at all. Okay,
Dek,
so these
dek,
are some of the
dek,
technologies,
dek.
and this is I'm going towards the end of the
Minta
session.
tolong dek, dek,
So I
dek.
am going to leave those
Tunggu,
words with you.
tunggu.
But what I wanted to say
Ya
that
malah kabur.
technologies is proof. Okay, so this is the basically story of my life.
Mana sih?
So okay, no salt preservation, somebody mentioned, absolutely brilliant. Okay, but is it going to work? Okay, it's very good because we are doing the
Saya
salinity,
duluan
and
ya.
maybe some countries in
Hati-hati.
Europe does use this
Assalamualaikum.
technology quite, but what you have to think
Deh.
about is in England at the moment is 11 degree. Okay, oh, 13 degree. Okay, that's our that's basically springtime. But is it going to
Ya.
work somewhere in hot countries? Does it, how long your raw hyacinth skin is going to sit under the sun? Have we considered that? Would it work? Does the place has got the right infrastructure? Okay. Do you have a supply chain control? If you're not sorting your raw material, how are you storing it? Okay. Have we got the possibility to store and process them? So do we have all of this in place? Okay, so you talk about green fleshing. I love green fleshing. I like to talk about the green fleshing because it is a classic example. Many tanneries would do it because it's simple and easy, and you can use the flesh everything and in other processes like in ICLT, the Institute of Creative Leather Technology, we used to keep our fleshing, and somebody will come and collect those fleshing and use in the rendering process for soil reproduction. They can go in the pharmaceutical, they can go in the food and animal feed, animal feed, not human feed, animal feed. They can go the cosmetics and all sorts of area. Brilliant idea. But the issue is sorry, I won't go in the discussion. Okay, the issue is the technology. Okay, so what are the cons? Okay, so it is often difficult to flesh the green fleshing. Okay, it doesn't come out as clean as your lime flesh. Okay, and then you have to take all the materials out, flesh it, and put it back in the drum, and that is a glitch in the process. Okay, so you have to take everything out, flesh it, put everything back, and that causes time and breaks that linkages. Okay, lime fleshing, perfect it gives you the clean, is really nice and easy to clean. However, you have to think about the further uses because now they're contaminated with alkali. can you process it further? You will have to use extra time. So again, the moral of the story, there is no perfect sample, okay, perfect results. So as I said, hair saving technology, perfect concept, yeah. So we take the hair out, and some tannery does uses it on a regular basis, and people are trying different techniques. So you filter the hair, remove the hair, and that's it. It's a fantastic technology. You have got your low COD and low nitrogen and worse, okay. But the problem is you need a skilled workforce. Somebody knows what they're doing, and if they cannot understand the process, the risk of failure is really, really high. And at the end of the day, you have got this massive amount of solid waste, the hair, and how are you going to dispose it of? Is it ended up being in the landfill? I do not know. Enzyme, perfect. They biodegrade, the protein, they can lower our environmental impact. But it is the risks of over processing.
Ya,
If you do
Kak.
it too much, you
Bang.
ended up maybe a weaker leather. Yeah. Your performance will be lower. So what do we
Oh
need?
ya.
We need a very good system where we can control our temperature, the
Assalamualaikum.
time, and somebody who understands how the enzyme really
Uh,
works. So skill operator is interesting. Okay. Carbon
adalah
dioxide deliming. Now, I'm not really sure where exactly we are on this, but there are people who has been using it, using carbon dioxide in the deliming system. Of course, that is targeting your nitrogen. It reduces the overall soil concentration, but the process sensitivity is very, very high. That means the pH can easily with ammonium salt deliming system. Your pH problem doesn't, well, it's not, it's not that difficult to control. With this it is, and if your pH goes too low, you have got the possibility of hydrogen sulfide formation, which is of course a health and safety risk. So you have to be careful. Sorry, I'm just looking at the chat. Nearly done. Okay. And then lime splitting, again, very simple process, and tanneries do lime splitting. Okay, so the basic benefit is because there is no chromium in the tree, so you can use it for different purposes, and tannery do use for another reason. By the way, you can make suede out of wood blue, and some people, some tanneries might prefer making suede out of wood blue split rather than lime split. Okay, but yeah, so it doesn't mean, just to clarify, it doesn't mean that you could not make suede. As I say, some tannery may prefer to make suede out of wood blue rather than lime split. Okay, I mean wood blue split. Okay, so why does it matter? I got stuck. Okay, so the problem with lime splitting, you might always get a nice even results. It might be very difficult to handle. It's very slippery. Okay, so you might also need requirements such as, you need to modify the equipment you have in the tannery. Okay, nearly there. You have to bear with me, just few more slides and I will call it a day. Okay, I might have slightly overrun, but it's okay. Okay, so why now? People often ask, the other day I had a person coming to me saying, oh, chromium is bad. It's not bad. I do not believe, as a working in leather technology for a very long time, it is bad. It's how we manage it. Of course, like any other metal, whether you're talking about chromium and aluminium, it has a issue, the mining issue, the disposal issue. It does not biodegrade. But why can't we get rid of chromium? Why we still would use? Because it's versatile. We can make a lovely gloves to tar leather to for shoes. So we can adjust it. It is very efficient how you when you SAM, when you set, or SAM. So, good for the car to maintain that. Okay. So Chromium, I don't think, oh, I have got unstable. So what I'm gonna do is just turn my video off to make it a little bit more stable, okay, because I can see there is some glitches, so you won't see me for 5 minutes, okay, but it is nearly there, so bear with me. Okay. um, yeah, you can see it. So when I think about chromium, it's not just a chemical that we need to look at it. I think chromium as a part of the highly optimum system. Okay, that's why it is so difficult to replace or find something, because we are comparing constantly with chromium. Okay, so da, 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 da. So why the, and I'm repeating the same thing, so excuse me, okay, so when you have think about alternative, whatever alternative you might be thinking, we cannot achieve the same final
Assalamualaikum.
properties without
Mau ke
adjusting
anu
certain
ini?
things. So we
Mau ke
need to
asrama haji?
adjust the post-scanning chemistry in order to get to the same as, produce the same type of leather. um, it might have a higher cost. We don't know a lot about this yet. We're still developing. We're still trying to introduce it, and we don't know what new environmental burden is going to introduce. Okay, so it is difficult, and it will have a different. It might have a different material behavior. Although leather industry is working very hard in order to get to this. I cannot see anybody, and I just heard a beep, so I'm not absolutely sure what's happening. How are we doing? Are you okay? Okay, I think I'm in a timer. This is going minus at the moment. Okay, so it's not about the changing a system, but changing the entire process. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Muhammad Abbas. Okay, so as I said, I won't keep you very long. I'm nearly there. So for me, is thinking, it's not, you don't just change one chemical, you don't just change one thing. It is, they are all linked. So if you make one changes to one process and one system, you can imagine what tannery would go through. For even me, when you work in the lab, it might be easy to change one thing, but it's the entire business. So if you change one particular chemicals, you have to, you know look at the entire process system, which makes it really really hard. Okay,
Apa?
so
Yang
as
mana?
I'm nearly there,
Oh,
but
depan
no
ini atau depan
transient
sana lagi?
resolution. I already said this, so I'm not gonna repeat myself.
Kalau depan ini,
Okay, and
Mas,
this was the
enggak
activity for
maksudnya
me to
ini yang depan
go
ini
and
yang mana
do,
yang
because
duluan,
I thought
yang
we can
di
do it
paling depan
here.
atau yang
But
tengah?
okay, so this is absolutely okay. So the idea is, think about a tannery, and you've got a
Kalau ini
limited
jam berapa
budget,
berangkat?
and how you
Ah iya Pak.
justify,
Terima kasih Pak.
choose some technologies and
Iya.
justify your decision. Okay, so this is my
Terima kasih
last
banyak.
slide.
Assalamualaikum Pak.
And you can read the slide on the screen.
Amin
I
Pak.
repeated it, so I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to say the last line. It is what is works in practice and in the system. So we can talk about all the big technologies, all the big thing, what we think are green, but the end of the day, we do have to ask that the simple fundamental question: does it work in the practice? Is it work in my system, in my tannery? I don't have any tannery, by
Permisi,
the way.
Pak.
Is it a viable
Assalamualaikum.
option? Okay.
Siapa punya driver
And
ini?
that's where I live. I'm not
Apa?
going to go away, of course, yet, but
Saya
this
mau
is
ke
where
asrama
I
haji.
live. Okay. So I'm going to turn my video on. Let's see whether the internet is okay. And I'm going to stop sharing
Tahan posisi
and
set.
I'll upload.
Transaksi
Gosh.
transit berhasil. Selamat melanjutkan perjalanan.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Anurama, for your
Thank you very much.
materials today. Now we're open for the discussion sessions for the participant who wants to ask the questions to Dr. Anulaman. Okay, please, one participant on site. You
Oh,
can
thank
introduce
you.
yourself and also say your questions.
Uh, uh, good.
Thank you. I can see the love heart. My student never, well, they do sometimes give me love heart.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the material and the chance that has been given. Um, Dr. Alama, maybe I'd like to hear about your opinion or strategy on how the leather industry or for the leather business that already adopting green technologies to stay compete or maybe stay relevant, knowing that knowing that we're facing the growing of popularity for synthetic leather or fast fashion that
um,
are often cheaper and can be more accessible, but in the same time they can cause the big impact for the environment. Thank you. Maybe that's it.
so, it's a very big question to answer. So as I said, I've been living in UK for for around 20 years, a little bit more over. And we do our still. So my opinion, as far as I can see, it isn't so much about the green technology, because when you operate in UK or Europe, in maintain the strict effluent regulation anyway, regardless whichever way, and which is very expensive for businesses to run. Okay, so and they have to consider that the
Permisi Pak, BPTD kelas 2. Iya Pak.
there are new technologies coming in, so the chemical companies constantly work, industry is constantly work for new. There is a when I went to the Society of Leather Technologies conference, there is a big push on hair waste, because obviously that's created general solid waste and what we can do with the waste and things like that. So I wouldn't say necessarily, and the question of whether the alternative to leather, I mean, is a very difficult question to answer. Is it cheap? Is it reliable? I don't really have an answer for that, I have to say. Really sorry. And I am struggling a little bit because the market is still very good in terms of leather product. Okay, people who buy leather tend to buy leather, and because people tend to invest in leather, whether buying a nice, beautiful leather handbag or a pair of shoes or their car, they like to invest in there. So we don't tend to talk about alternative leather as much as used to people do. Once upon a time, people were very excited, and then many people didn't want to wear leather product, leather, and then veganism coming in, but and in my opinion, it might not be everybody else's opinion. They come and goes, and we don't tend to hear as much as we used to. So it is difficult because it depends on the where you are on the planet, and the perspective is different. So as I said, if you're going to operate in UK, you have to meet the bottom line. The effluent has to be dealt with, regardless what you do. And you can, tanneries will play with their own technologies. You have got the Scottish Leather Group. They have got their fantastic facilities of producing energy from the waste. Okay, they have got the waste management system where they have got everything kept within the system, recycled within the system. So things like that is happening. So it's very, very difficult to say because my lived experience in UK for many, many years. So I don't know exactly. So yeah, so it is very difficult for me to actually say from the global perspective. And there we are. Sorry, there was a very long-winded question, but a question like this, I always struggle. I don't know. There is no yes and no answer. There is the best if you do this, and this is what's happening because things changes. What is happening today, it will not be happening tomorrow. What was happening yesterday is no longer happening today. So it is very, it is to keep up. Sorry, my nose is a little bit runny. Okay. I hope some convoluted way I have answered some of the questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And did you get the answer? Or you have any response? No?
Okay. That's pretty
Probably got
understandable.
very lost. You probably really got lost, just like, what is she saying?
No, that's pretty understandable. Thank you so much, Dr. Alana.
Uh,
Thank you so much. Okay, is there any questions?
Yes.
More? Okay, online participant, I guess.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Mine is not a question. It's just to say my name is Peter from Kenya. Dr. Anne, thank you for the insightful contribution. It was a very insightful and knowledgeable presentation. We thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I shall go back to my marking because I've got lots of dissertation marking. Okay. Any question? Okay. So shall I say, sorry, I didn't catch your name, the person you're talking. What was your name?
Oh, me?
Yes,
Yes, my name is Dita Brameswari.
Deepa Rameshwari.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Nice talking to you, Deepa Rameshwari.
Yes. Um, I think, Doctor, I have one questions before
Oh, please
we
do.
want
Okay.
to close the sessions. Um, I want to ask, can you explain about what is current research that you work on in the green technology for leather productions? Maybe
As I
you can
said,
talk about something
I
with your team. Yes.
as I also trying to say, I moved away from leather technology. I still have got some project with my students. They're working on. I can't talk about it. Sorry, with a different with an organization. Okay. So I do, yeah, but I have gradually. So at this moment, my job is no longer doing leather technology. So I am basically closing my projects and moving into the world of life and environmental science. That's a new exciting time. So I look after health sciences now. It's not look after basically. So that's where I am. So when I used to work in leather technology, so I'm thinking of the mic. The project. So I am involved with the SMAP project. So they are looking into the traceability. So you may have heard of it. So that's the project I'm currently involved with. My other project is with an organization, but basically it's very weird. So when I was looking at, my interest was historic and archaeological leather. So one of my student was in looked at the archaeological leather when she was doing my PhD. Okay. Um, yeah, so that's where I am. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Very
Yeah.
nice.
That's okay. That's
So
okay. As I
thank
said,
you
I
very
made the
much.
changes recently, so it's a long story, and I've decided to move on. So let's see what the future hold, where I go from here. But I'm happy to talk about that still.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you very
Anna.
much.
Please do the
Bye
closing
bye.
prayer.
Take care. Bye bye and have a great day and enjoy the sun if there is